Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to BBC London for the first leg, the European leg of a Gran Turismo World Series. Let's go and have a look. Well, you got a Valkyrie. You got a little Ferrari. Let's go and have a look what we got at the back. Not much really. Yeah, merchandise. Just t-shirts, £30 for a t-shirt. Makes you go faster. Well, let's go and get the wristband, join the queue, and see what's the next step.
London, especially for me, local one for us. We're going to get the guys out in a second, but just a little bit of housekeeping from me. I'm Dan, floor manager. You'll see me running around throughout the show. I'm going to be cueing lots of applause. So when you see
series, and it's the first time, well, technically we're in the UK, but it was kind of during COVID, so it wasn't quite the same. But this, for me, this is my hometown. I'm very excited to be here. You guys excited to be here? I mean, share your thoughts, feelings.
It sounds like, yeah, I've aged considerably since that.
I was going to say that.
Dan from Japan as well.
These are the commentaries for the live stream.
Chinese commentary, so we have Raymond, brand new to the team.
Give Raymond a very warm welcome.
So, you guys got any favourite drive? Well, I mean, manufacturers, who do you think is going to win today?
No.
No? You?
Lexa!
We're trying to justify to do in front of a crowd, but we can't really. It's just odd that we do it.
We started it once, and now we can't stop. It's
Are you ready?
how it goes. And we need to close the circle and trap them. That's like
Don't ask why we do this, because I don't.
Sorry, Clive, we're getting right in the way here. Ready? Ready? Kingdom.
So, of course, we've changed drivers since last year. Koke is no longer with us, but we are being joined by Mangano, who is definitely a veteran driver of the series. So I still think we have a very good chance of winning.
And Paul, this is the only one you haven't won yet, right? The Manufacturers' Cup, is this the one that you're most excited about? Franchise, which is Kazunori Yamauchi. Give me that.
That didn't work, yeah.
I
said about the shaker to reposition the seat.
Fun to drive? Was it really fun to drive?
この車は僕サーキットで走らせたんですけど、とにかくね驚きました。僕ね EV とサーキットって相性が良くないと思ってたんですけれども、この車はね全然違いましたね。サーキット本当にめちゃくちゃちゃんと走る。
So, I got an opportunity to drive this car on track, and I was actually very surprised because, I had the impression that, EVs and
Partnership. Please give a big round of applause to our guests and to of course We're just going to have a little quick recap to get you up to speed for the Manufacturers' Cup.
We're ready to go racing here in Prague. Might be a mistake for Medina as well. Of course, that gap is now down to only a tenth of a second. And that Jano Henderson makes the mistake, gets onto the city part of the circuit, recovers it well. Coming up now towards T2 and T3. The Boutelet almost pushing Drummond to the inside. Goes to Roche. Oh, Fenton's gone. Fenton's gone. He's straight off onto the outside of the track. It's Medina versus Hensei. It's winner takes all stakes. Medina has done it. Fantastic. Medina wins for Ferrari.
To finally do this from my hometown, London! worst driving in London traffic, as it's the Manufacturers' Cup. Now, if you missed last year, Team Lexus came out on top, but they've had a lot of driver changes. We've had one of the original OG GT drivers, Coque Lopez, hanging up his gloves together at the World Finals at the end of the year. For today's race, 2 time trial sessions will set the grand final grid. By the end of Q1, the bottom 6 teams will have had their grid position set, whilst the top 6 teams will advance to Q2 and get the chance to renegotiate their grid positions for the grand final. In the grand final, 1 driver per team will race for World Series points, where only the top 6 teams are going to score points at all. Only 1 team will be crowned the round 1 winner of the Manufacturers' Cup.
Yeah, that's the competition format. Welcome, by the way, to the GT desk for the first time in 2025. Great to be back here. Look, let's get straight into it.
A bit different from how we were last year.
Let's have a look at the track that they're going to be competing on in the qualifying. So Tokyo Expressway, southern counterclockwise circuit, racing soft tyres in the Group 3 cars. Only 4 minutes of qualifying, crucially, in this one as well. So we reckon about 2 time laps.
Yeah, 2 flying laps, of course, and you have those concrete walls either side to basically ruin that. So lots of pressure here for our drivers, of course, with a live audience behind them.
Really important, as I said, not a lot of time between the pit lane exit and the start finish line, which also means it's going to be pretty brakes on the straight, you can use the slipstream. In the corners and the twisty bits though, not ideal.
Yeah, it sort of presents a bit of a challenge for our drivers. So you maybe wait up for someone and try and use the slipstream. There are some long straights here on this circuit, so being in the toe is going to be worth quite a bit of time, but of course conversely, if you catch them in the corners, then that's over and it's done. But we'll see our get off to a strong start here in 2025.
Yeah, we wondered if they were going to be the first European manufacturer to claim the Manufacturers' Cup crown, but indeed, as you say, 1 point away at the end of that one. The Japanese Lexus again 2-time manufacturer. Sasaki, Goto, Yamamoto, as well as Okamoto, Sugimura, and Hoshida. So that is your grid then for the grand final. Let's catch up with our pole sitter, Sai Suzuki for Team BMW.
How important is it that you win this year, because you were so close?
去年 BMW でやっぱり走ってて、1ポイント差でやっぱり逃しちゃったんです。今年
And the Nations Cup. Well, I'm excited to see how it's all going to work out.
Yeah, we don't know. We're going to find out in our first round here, of course. But yeah, looking forward, especially to that LA round. I've been there for a while.
Tyre wear, so 1 lap is equivalent to 4 laps, and there are a lot of medium speed corners in here, and a fair bit of dirty air kicked up from these Group 3 cars as well, so the front tyres are going to be crying out in pain by the end of their stints.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's going to be some absolute hero that tries a no-stop, but as you can see from our off little tyre graph, we really don't think that's possible. In fact, the 13 laps there, I was told by one of our race directors, that is pretty much the maximum they think that tyre can do before it just completely falls off.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to predict the winner as well. You've been online and had a look at it. Let's run you through the grid and how they're going to be lining up ahead of the grand final here at the Tokyo Expressway. Well, Sai Suzuki absolutely blitzed it in qualifying. He lines up on pole position for Team BMW and is joined at the front row by Takuma Miyazono for Subaru. Row 2, Sato in the Porsche. They were pretty handy in Q1 but lost time in Q2. Kawakami and Lexus, the reigning champs, line up alongside. Horimoto heads row 3 for Toyota, and Kokuman is there for Mazda in 6th place as well. Sasaki lines up P7 for Mercedes AMG, and Goto for Lamborghini down in P8. Can the mid-engine layout prove to be fortunate here today? Kamada lines up 9th, completing the top 10 is Okamoto for Nissan, and the grid is completed by Sugimura in the Honda NSX, and 12th position is Jude Machina in the Ferrari 458. Now, of course, the difference in tyre strategies available for the drivers. No options for, or no rules essentially to state that they have to use both tyre compounds in the race. And interestingly there, JB, the top two have gone for the softs.
Yeah, I mean, just like another motorsport series, those soft tyres are going to be faster than those mediums. They'll be off to a good start. And the objective of going on that tyre early is to try and build a gap, try and get into clean air and use the rubber to its best possible use. Of course, championship points are available down to 6th position, so everyone vying over those top 6 places. Watch out for Suzuki, watch out for Miyazono. They'll be fast starting, and after that it's going to be a bit of a Royal Rumble, I think.
Yeah, certainly will. Looking forward to seeing how this one is going to work out. There is Sai Suzuki. Of course, he's at a bit of a disadvantage at the start of this one, despite being in pole position, because he hasn't got the whole of the air being punched in front of him, unlike all the other drivers behind. And are they going to be able to use that slipstream to their advantage once we get onto the long straight here? Well, we're ready to go. World Series 1 of Gran Turismo here in London is underway. Sai T1, I think they're a bit too far away, really, to be honest with you. What about, though, into the next series of corners? We're on a long straight now and heading into a very heavy braking zone. Is that going to leave BMW under a bit of pressure here from Subaru? Can Porsche, maybe even Lexus, get themselves involved in the action? So here it is, Suzuki that leads on the soft tyres from the fellow soft shot to Takuma Miyazono down to the hairpin bend. No moves at the sharp end of this field, but the rear of them looking pretty close, actually, into there.
Yeah, well, actually following line of steering through there, Suzuki Miyazono. Miyazono and Sato in that Porsche behind, making yes, you have to be careful with. So interestingly, look at the tyre wear there, those front tyres of Suzuki compared to Miyazono. You kind of think maybe that Miyazono would be worse given he's sitting in that dirty air, but I think that car is just a bit lighter and the weight of the BMW really showing there on those front tyres. So that could be the difference. Going up and down the field though, the best of the tyres so far is Kawakami in 6th place. So it doesn't mean much if it's stuck there.
They're going to try and make the progression through, maybe just playing the longer game here in this one, waiting for the right time to strike. Confident goes to the defensive line into the hairpin bend. All bottlenecks up, and Okamoto once again gets into the back of Kawakami, and a bit of shoulder there from Kamada in the McLaren as well. Someone is going to be more disappointed than the Roosters have their tonsils out after this race, I'm fairly sure of it, because they are so close to one another out on this circuit. You can just sense the fact that it is starting to bubble up. We're only on lap 5 as again the McLaren of Kamada looks at the inside of Machina there.
It's not really a move there to be made, just sort of up into P4 now, leading the straight through for Okamoto in the Toyota there is now, but this guy's all fighting furiously. Sato there in the wall, and there goes Porsche's effort for any position here in round 1 of the Grand Final.
We said it was going to bubble up, and so it proved to be exactly what we did.
As you can see, points for the first down to 6th position. And what I can tell you now is Kawakami won't be having any of those.
That's been shown there. 14 Lexus and not the way they'll have wanted to kick off their title defence in the Manufacturers' Cup. So now, what does it look like for the final podium place as well? Morimoto still right on the coattails of Ryota Kokuman in the Mazda at the moment. We're right on board with Yusuke Goto, who was up as high as 3rd a few moments ago, but sort of lost out really, as it were. Now he's got a face full of Lexus as we come across the timing line, and there is the penalty being served for Kawakami, who drops back down to 9th position now.
Move down into the bottom of the course. Do you go for that if you're Miyazono? Do you just wait and be patient and take the move to the head, and let's wait and see? Miyazono deep in the 6th, it goes to the outside there, coming down to this first hairpin. It's going to get squeezed out, I think, by Suzuki. Looks to try and go back inside, but Suzuki, why not break himself here? Will Miyazono get the cut down?
Suzuki's got a line cover there quite nicely, hasn't he? It's going to be all about the traction, the exit out of this corner and the run through into the next series of them there. Right on board with Takuma Miyazono battling for the victory and trying to get maximum points for Subaru to try and take that crown back in the Manufacturers' Cup in 2025. And now we know that Miyazono pretty handy in the slipstream and diving his way to the inside. He's going to have to think about this one quite carefully then here. Use that strength of the Subaru in the last stage of this race.
To be honest, Miyazono quite far back though. It's going to be quite a big lunge there for Takuma. So Suzuki in front. Miyazono on board looking to try and displace them. Coming down to the hairpin now, deep in the toe. 270 to 272. Goes defensive. Miyazono goes all the way to the outside. I'm going to go to the outside. Suzuki outbrakes himself, and just as that gap opens up, Miyazono places that Subaru there, and that's it, done deal. Great move there for someone who didn't really lead any of the race, but you don't need to lead any of the race until that bit right in the last lap, and that's where he was. So great work there by Miyazono Subaru, and Suzuki too. Shame to lose out for Team BMW, but great podium for them, and of course for Cookman as well, Team Mazda. So an awesome 1, 2, 3 there for Subaru, BMW and Mazda.
Yeah, great respect between those two drivers, and looking forward to the highlights of this one then here. So we know it was BMW and Suzuki who started this one on pole position. They decided to go for the soft tyres, likewise to Takuma Miyazono in the Subaru. Everybody else though started on that medium compound. It was pretty sort of even seamless at the sharp end of this race. The two at the front who we expected began to build a gap. It started to kick off a little bit behind, but it was sort of in the mid-stage of the race where it really got pretty frenetic.
That was pretty interesting, and looking at all this.
Decisive, clinical move stick, great respect between the two to give each other racing room. The upshot is, in his first plunge, Takuma Miyazono in the 2025 Manufacturers' Cup for the GT World Series. And now it is the Japanese manufacturer that is on top after this event as well. Of course, the points reflecting the grand final results. Suzuki and BMW in second, Cockman and Mazda. Lamborghini.
Yeah, such a nice move there from Miyazono. And of course, Kashima is a bit of an honourable mention. He did start last that Ferrari, got up to P7 unfortunately though. Doesn't matter, no points to P7, but it was a good move nonetheless.
No, absolutely right. Well, there we go. Takuma Miyazono and Team Subaru take the spoils here in London. Let's go down onto the floor, catch up with Jules and see what our winner makes of it.
Wow, okay, so I mean, that was a lot. You are definitely a challenger. That was some amazing driving. How do you feel? Obviously, it's not the exact result, but I mean, you're up there.
めちゃくちゃいろいろあったレースで、すごいやっぱりチャレンジ精神がすごく見えたので。
Of the points, of course, it does reflect the race results here tonight in the Manufacturers' Cup. The upshot is, it is now Subaru with a points advantage over BMW. Mazda there in third place ahead of Toyota, Nissan, and then McLaren. That is your top 6. So, yeah, pretty close at the sharp end of this one. I have to say, Lexus and especially Lamborghini will be pretty disappointed with how things have worked out here tonight.
Just some big names there with no points. Porsche, Lexus, Honda as well, AMG, who have always been very quick in these events. This new balance of performance maybe not suiting this circuit here today, but of course, full points there from Subaru, so they'll be happy.
Absolutely right. Well, there are your points rankings then after the Manufacturers' Cup. Let's head, though, back down to Jules on the floor.
I got really confident, like everyone's really fast, I don't know how it's going to go, and I said, you're fine, you're going to be fine. And then every time you say this, and then you just come in and win. What the hell?
昨日話してた時はなんか今回ちょっと自信がないんですよねとかなんかいろいろ言われてましたけど、みんな速いしと周りが私は大丈夫ですよって言いましたけど、毎回ですよねこういう会話があって最終的にはもう全部持っていっちゃうみたいな。
いや今回はね本当にペースが僕自身速くなくて、ただ予選で上手にいって、2番手っていうところに行けて。で鈴木選手と一緒によく練習してたんですけど、彼がもうなんか圧倒的にレースが速かったので作戦を同じにしようと思って、そしたら、多分彼についていくことができれば最後チャンスがあるかもしれないなと思ってたので、そうですね、鈴木選手のペースが速かったおかげかなというふうに個人的には思ってます。
Yeah, so this time around, I actually really didn't think I had the pace, but you know, in qualifying, I actually did a lot better than I thought. I was placed in second. And you know, I practiced a lot with Suzuki actually, and he was really fast.
We also have Cockman! In second place for Team BMW, please welcome Suzuki! Please welcome the winner of Gran Turismo World Series 1 here in London for Team Subaru! of our winning manufacturer, Team Subaru. And now time for the trophies to be presented. First of all, the third place trophy. It is presented by the PR manager for Mazda, Owen Mildenhall, and it is awarded to the man who drives for Mazda, Bjorn Document. Way onto the stage here in London. Of course, it's awarded to the driver who's in second place for TBW Suzuki. And the winning trophy is presented by the Gran Turismo series producer Kazunori Yamauchi.
time now, and we're finally here. で、最初 今日もうすでにマニファクチャラーシリーズ皆さんご覧になったと思うんですけど、レース楽しめました今。
And you guys already watched the Manufacturers Cup? Did you guys all enjoy the race?
で、これからネーションズカップ始まるんですけど、すごいレースが見られると思うので、ちょっとね、今日一日長いイベントなんですが、ぜひ皆さん楽しんでいってください。
Yeah, and the Nations Cup is coming up. You're gonna see some more incredible races, I'm sure of it. So please enjoy the rest of the day. I know this is a very, very long event, but we hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to our home. We're very, very happy to have you here. Here's 8 more years of Gran Turismo World Series!
It is time before the Nations Cup, and let's introduce you to our 12 competitors who are here tonight. All the way from Australia, please give it up for Guy Barbara. From Japan, Takuma Sasaki. Let's welcome the fast Chilean Angel Inestrosa. The 2023 trio of champions from Spain, it's Paul Eura. Also a former world champion from Italy, it's Valerio Gallo. Next up from France, give it your all for Thomas Mabusele. And his compatriot, Killian Drummond! Also part of the Nations Cup Championship trio of 23, give it your all for Spain's Jose Serrano! Last but not least, the champion not once but twice, and the most recent from Japan, it's Kazunori Yamauchi! Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand if you're able, please, for the national anthem of our host nation here in the United Kingdom.
definitely try to take it for the first one.
I think you're going to do good. It's a very friendly, a competitive yet friendly atmosphere. But Takuma, you know, you've raced so many times for us now. What advice do you have to Samuel for his first one?
もうレースは百戦錬磨ですけど、宮園さんから新人のサミュエルさんに何かアドバイスがありますか？
はい、やっぱちょっと家とそのモニターの見方とかが違うと思うので、何ですかね、あとは遅延とか、その家との環境の違いっていうのを意識しながら、なるべく、意識してやるといいんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、早く練習したいです。はい。
So yeah, it's good to really take note of the differences in how the monitor appears as compared to home and at the venue like this. The latencies can be a little bit different, so that's something that you want to be able to compensate for. But I just want to start practicing as soon as we can.
I know. 25 online qualifiers. 9 countries are participating in the Nations Cup World Series this season. Spain, France and Japan are the most represented countries with 2 drivers each. All of the drivers will get the chance to set a time over a 1-lap attack to determine the grid for the sprint race. In the sprint, drivers will get behind the wheel of the Aston Martin VALKYRIE, and how well they perform will determine their spot for the start of the Grand Final. All 12 drivers will battle it out in the Grand Final, with only the top 6 securing World Series points. On top of getting 6 points, first place gets a shiny trophy and is declared the winner of round 1 in the Nations Cup World Series 2025.
September, we go to Berlin for round 2, and then it's all the way over to the west coast of the United States of America as we head to Los Angeles at the beginning of November. And then the season is bookended by the World Finals in Fukuoka, the last weekend right before Christmas. Hugely excited to see what's going to happen. And look at these cars here this weekend. We're at the television centre, the former home of the BBC. Some amazing cars on display. JB, you in particular, loved that Toyota. Yeah, we have this gorgeous Valkyrie here. I was like, nah, not interested. Show me the box in the background. Show me the Corolla. Awesome cars out front. Including a very, very pretty RX-7 as well. Yeah, it was hugely exciting to see all of those cars. And
Fourth extension of Lugile and Nostroza there, 5th and 6th. Qualifying for Nostroza. There's a bit there.
Yeah, qualifying also from Sam Cardinal down there in 12th place. I know he's last on the grid, but he's only a tenth of a second away from some very regular drivers in the GT World Series, which
He won't like that.
no, of course he won't. But still, I don't think that that's a bad result at all for him there. Let's have a look at the sprint race, because it is all changed. No X29 teams and no Grand Valley Highway to worry about in the sprint race. We now change over to the Aston Martin VALKYRIE, and we're at the 24 Hours of Le Mans circuit, the Circuit de la Sarthe. 5 laps of this one. It's going to be a slippery battle, surely.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's no
ahead of this sprint race. So, what do you think's going to be going through the mind of the likes of Jose Serrano? He's starting at the front of the grid. Is that an advantage though going into this?
That's the thing about him. We just spoke about Simpson. Being at the front is great for Dragon Prize for qualifying. But you're going to be the person punching the hole in the air for all the cars behind you.
Drivers then ready to go here in London. Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup sprint race at the side of the grid for the Grand Final. It's about to get underway. Is lined up. Jose Serrano starts this one on pole position. Paul Yora, his compatriot, alongside on the front row of the grid. Adriano Carrazza from Brazil heads row 2, and he has got Kylian Drumont, the Frenchman, on home soil at the Circuit de la Sarthe for company. Thomas Labouchelet heads row 3 in the Aston Martin, of course, and then it is Angel Nostroza, 6th position on the grid. Takuma Miyazono, P7, he's the reigning world champion with Valerio Gallo for company. Completing the top 10 is Guy Barbara, the Australian, and just on the fringes of it is Takuma Sasaki, who will be hoping for better fortunes in the race. Kai de Bruin lines up P11, the Dutchman, and then 12th position is the newcomer Samuel Cardinal, the Canadian, is at the back of the field. So soft tyres for the drivers, 5 laps and a rolling start here, Jimmy.
Yes, not really much you can do in terms of strategy. It is just, as suggested, all out sprint race, all about paces. So all we see the 2 Spanish drivers work together as we have in the past. All we see Carrazza get into the mix, and all we see Miyazono move up Absolutely. How important is this for the grand final, Jimmy? Because the circuit we're going to be racing on completely different in terms of characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, here I would say it's fairly easy with Slipstream, but the Grand Valley circuit, a bit later on, much tighter, much twistier. Getting by someone there is completely different. So getting that qualifying here is going to be super difficult.
Absolutely. Well, there is Guy Barber. He's starting a bit further down the order than he would like. Let's see what forward progress he can make over the course of this one. As Jose Serrano leads the field to the timing line, Paul Euro follows him, and Adriano Carrazza as we get the sprint race underway here, the Nations Cup Gran Turismo. And Serrano leads the line towards the Dunlop curve, and as they head into the chicane, is anyone going to think about a move on the brakes? Well, the rolling start spreads the field out a little bit there, so there's no time for movement. Carrazza gets tagged there by Drummond into the first corner, just sends the Brazilian a little bit wide and might leave him under a bit of pressure. In turn, what that has done is allowed Serrano and Euro a bit more of a gap at the sharp end as it's all bottlenecks up behind.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Swedish drivers want at this point. They want to have that gap straight away. Perhaps just give it to them, which they were in fourth place. Now we're getting to the third big Slipstream part of the circuit. These guys also have a factory to use to now up to speed 360 kph, 373, 80 like it's nothing. Over 400 kilometers now, and we go side by side down to the third long sand chicane. They're pretty wide. Someone's got to break first. Do not be inside of everyone.
Oh, go on!
Carrazza's off. As well, right down to the back of the field. Innes Rosa also caught up in some strife there, as well as he dropped right down the order.
Yeah, still going now as Drummond and Bucciolai have found themselves already with a 2.5 second gap to the Spanish cars ahead. So really, it's a race lead.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the specific amount of power the battery adds, but it's a significant push to pass. So if you have that in your arsenal, you are definitely going to do a little bit better package, isn't it? So anyway, coming on to your last lap here in.
Try and find his way through.
They've got to be careful here because they can quite easily take each other out of contention here when they are in a company 1-2. So it's basically who wants first the most, I guess, and who's willing to get it up, because if they really are scrapping, there's a chance they can have each other off. We've seen them already up and down the field, but this really right here is going to be the last chance to take it. Serrano had a great exit there. Paul Euro really struggling for traction, but Euro is now on the battery and has the toe. The gap is coming down, but I don't think he's going to get there in time, Tom.
Yeah, so coming down to this final sector then, Serrano versus Euro. This is for pole position. The grand final! To the inside there for Euro against Serrano, but the door very firmly shut by the race leader. They skim the wall on the outside, and now just 2 sections of canes remaining, and Serrano with enough of an advantage, unless he runs it wide or Euro goes for a dive bomb to the inside, but I don't think Euro's going to be close enough. Serrano has got track position, he's got enough in his back pocket to just cruise his way through these final chicanes, and unless he fluffs his lines, which he doesn't do so, it's Serrano at the end of the final corner, but he does win the sprint race here in London.
That's what we've said before in the past, seen in the past. These guys were all part of the 2023 Nations Cup Spanish team who won the Nations Cup that year, the free.
Is it really, that was, got us very worried.
It was fantastic race, amazing. We worked with ball.
To 4th position at the checkered flag. Gallo moving his way up into 5th place for Bucciolai. He'll be disappointed given where he was running at the start of that one. Did the earlier qualifying highlights that we saw in racing hard, medium and soft tyre. They must use at least 2 tyre compounds in this race. Of course, the finish determined by the sprint, and it's a 30 lapper as well. And I mean, look at that track map. You can see how many fast and medium speed corners are. The tyres are going to get absolutely nothing. No, we know these cars are particularly heavy on fuel as well, so keep an eye out for drivers having to refuel over the course of that one, who is going to be able to conserve it better. This is what we think in terms of the strategy now. We've had a look at these before, and they've proven to be, I don't want to say inaccurate is the impolite word of putting it, but the Nations Cup, the grand final is a long way in a few moments' time. It's given me a Zono last few moments to try and get himself ready and focused to go for this race. But here is how the grid will line up. Lots of action to come at the Grand Valley Highway Reverse Circuit in the Red Bullets 2019, and Jose Serrano has got a clean view down towards that first corner. His compatriot Paul Ura alongside him, brilliant they both were in that sprint race a few moments ago. Kilian Drummond heads row 2, and he has got Takuma Sasaki, who made his way up from 10th to 4th at the checkered flag. Gallo lines up P5 at the head of row 3, and alongside him is Thomas Leboutelet. Next up, Takuma Miyazono, the reigning world champion. Not been his day so far in the Nations Cup, and he made forward progress from there with Angelo Stroza for company alongside. Guy Barbara just on the fringes of the top 10, and completing it is Kai de Bruyne, who we saw in the wars in the sprint. And also Adriano Carazza, he'll be wanting to move forward from 11th position, and Sam Cardinal. We haven't really seen much from the newcomer Canadian here, and we do now see a look at the tyre strategies, Jimmy. Lots of drivers starting in the medium tyres, but a few on the hard ones as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we take a stab at it, right, if you're not really in the front of the field, maybe just bolt the hard on, get rid of it, and then hope for the best. I mean, we'll see how that strategy plays out, but it's not to be the first time the other competitors can see what the other drivers are on as well, to get an idea of their strategy. But Serrano, Ura and Drummond opting for that medium compound tyre, so they'll be able to get some space at the start, but then Boutelet is going to be the cork in the bottle for the midfield. They want to get by him as soon as possible. He's going to be very slow to start with that half compound tyre.
So a rolling start then for the drivers in this race. We'll spread the field out down towards that first corner, but crucially, who is going to be leading when the checkered flag falls here in the Nations Cup? We're about to find out. 30 laps of action to come for our drivers, and of course they must use 2 or more tyre compounds in this race. Very hard wearing of the Red Bull X 2019s on their tyres, but they're leads the field towards the first corner with Paul Ura, Kilian Drummond, Sasaki, Gallo, all in tow behind. All of those top 5 drivers on the medium compound of tyre. Keep an eye out for Leboutelet. He's sort of the cork of the bottom for the drivers behind, because he's in 6th place on the slower, harder compound, and it really does bottleneck up between these first couple of corners. But a clean start at the sharp end of this race means that Serrano leads from Ura.
They're just about staying ahead of the Boutelet, but as you say, really difficult through their first lap. All the cars vying for that same bit of time. Like Drummond there just sitting behind Paul Ura, but now Guy Barbara already up 2 places, as is Kai de Bruyne on that soft compound tyre. Keep an eye out for Kai. He's the only one who's gone for that soft tyre early, so he's been very fast here, but he won't be able to use the best of that tyre in clean air. Because Serrano right now actually a little bit slow and struggling there on exit of the corner, getting those wheels set up, their rear tyres spinning. Maybe not quite got the temperature of those medium compound tyres yet.
Well, the cars are great when they've got aerodynamic grip, but when they're in these slow corners, they're particularly difficult to drive because you haven't got the air flowing over the car, and there's just like that as we see the Britain coming into the pit lane at the end of lap 8. So those soft tyres have cried no more. Where's he going to go from here, though?
Yeah, I think they're going to another soft tyre. But now everyone's unleashed. Everyone's right. Okay, here we go. Now they're fighting as we come down to the hairpin down the bottom end. Drummond looking to the outside of Gallo. Drummond now. And then it's Dawn in this car. And Miyazono now being mugged by Sasaki on the inside. The 2 Japanese drivers side by side. So now that Kai de Bruyne's pitted, everyone's like, right, okay, race on. Here we go. And now they are starting to get spicy. Kai de Bruyne has been
a little bit suspect there, the Kai de Bruyne coming into the pit lane. So here's Paul Ura has a big wheel there and losing positions to Drummond and to Gallo. Into the back of him as well. Miyazono, he's in the wars here for this one. We've seen a few aggressive dives to the inside, a few uncharacteristic errors from the Japanese driver, and that might be set to cost him a little bit here.
Drummond's got a slow bar on that thing. He's got into the left every car I've seen so far, but not enough. I think it's just racing.
You see it often in rallying because drivers say they get a better feel for the car when they're racing with the chase cam. But yeah, an interesting strategy in these single-seater machines there especially. So it's all pretty calm at the front end of this one. So rather than be able to build out a 9/10 of a second buffer over Kilian Drummond, which could prove to be quite beneficial there for him, whilst they were squabbling behind. They're just trying to work together then with here, aren't they? They're just trying to close the deficit down. And now Drummond goes to the
And Paul Ura also trying to move too, because he's got a warning sign there. Don't know what that means, but it can't be good.
No, absolutely critical for these drivers. They've got to come into the pit, and then surely Gallo has to
quite make the move. Serrano goes deep into the braking zone. We're now going to cut back into this right hander. Ura takes a wider line. Serrano 6 on the apex there. Stops Ura getting the power, but a slight wheel spin over Ura looks to the outside. And James is alongside. Just can't make it.
You're going to get Serrano. It's advantage Serrano with just a few corners now remaining.
Serrano then, I think, maybe called the bluff there off Paul Uric, just about managing to take the win away. Maybe one last chance for Paul Uric.
It's going to be a drag to the line between Serrano and Uric.
In sixth there, and a strategy that I didn't even think of was the one that was victorious today, making that medium tyre last and that first, and then going to soft tyre and just managing. And what a great race between these two competitors. Great respect, you can tell. These guys respect the race. They know each other, they know how they're going to treat each other. It's just awesome to see at this level.
Yeah, it certainly is. Jose Serrano then led this one at the start from Paul Uric. Killian Drummond there in the third position as well. It was a pretty scrappy affair at the start of this race. Kyle Bruni led for a brief while as he ascended through the order on the soft competitive tyre, but unfortunately his race came unravelled when he picked up a 3-second in round one of the Nations Cup here in London, ahead of his compatriot Valerio Gallo on the podium as well. Sasaki, Drummond and Miyazaki all picking up some points here this afternoon. A couple of drivers very unlucky to miss out on that one, but an absolutely phenomenal race. Let's go down to Jules, who's on the floor here in London.
I think that I played clean today, and that was my main goal. And I know for myself I have a limit with this car, especially. So I'm okay with that. I'm also happy for Paul and Jose. They did an amazing job. Also, extending the medium stint. Actually, it was a mystery because we ran so long for the medium stint that we didn't know if we would actually make it. And yeah,
we were the same.
I'm very happy anyway, and I want to congratulate to everyone. It was an amazing race.
It was a good race. Okay, so you're waiting, you're biding your time. What were you kind of thinking, like, how nerve-wracking was that? Because it was pretty nerve-wracking to watch.
Well, in the first team we were like 6 or 7 guys with the mediums, including Valerio. So I started to push, to try to break the group, but it was impossible with this lift turn. And then on lap 10 I realized I had to save my tires to...
With 5, Gallo with 4, Sasaki with 3, Drummond 2 points on the board, Miyazono there with 1 point as well. I think Miyazono will probably be a bit disappointed given the pace that we've seen from him in these cars in the past.
Yeah, it just didn't quite come together for him, did it? I think that medium to soft strategy was the one in the end. And as Valerio was saying down there, I don't think anyone really knew they could do it until they didn't. So, but not a strong
clinical. Let's catch up with Denise down with Jules.
Yeah, it's really fun, but it was very tough, especially with the stint, with the middle stint. But yeah, finally we did a good work, Paul and myself, and yeah, we see the battery in the last lap.
And then the last couple of laps, were you worried? Were you worried Paul was going to come for you? Like, what? How were you feeling?
I'm worried, yes, but I'm very confident with Paul. He's so clean. He's my teammate. So yeah, so happy with the result with the P1, P2.
And in second place, please give it your all for Spain, Paul Uric! anthem of our winning nation, Spain. The Director of Publishing for PlayStation, Tim Hodges, will award the third place trophy as he display onto the stage here in London. Shakes the hands of our top three competitors, and the third place trophy is awarded to Italy's Valerio Gallo.